What's up, everybody? It's Tora back with some more of my Sky Factory world in Minecraft. This is Sky Factory 3 with the latest update. I've been doing a little bit of work in it, so I thought I'd do another world tour video just to kind of show you guys around. But as you can see, I'm fully decked out in Draconic now, so I've got all of my Draconic armor and sword and then Staff of Power as well. They're not fully upgraded yet, but they do the job. This was kind of my beginning building here. I decided to add some of these skeleton lights. Thought they looked pretty cool, but this is kind of where I started everything. Got everything up and going for the first time. This was my main base of operations in the beginning with my barrels and sieves over here and a beginning drawer layout. As we move out, this was my original tree farm where I was getting a lot of my dirt or leaves to make dirt and all of that sort of stuff. Over here is my kind of smeltery forging automation area. We've got the coke oven here, the large furnace here, and then all of the automation going on over here. This is where the cobblestone all gets broken down into your gravel, sand, and dust, and then gets sieved through both an iron and diamond mesh. Or sorry, flint. So you've got flint here, and then you've got diamond here. All of that goes through. I need to replace all of these with item conduits so that it goes faster because now they're all backed up. But this is also full, so I need to take care of that later. But in here, this all filters out all of the ore pieces and sends them to an auto compressor to compress them down into ingots, and then, into the ones that you can smelt, and takes them to an alloy smelter to turn them into ingots, and then throws the ingots in here into this auto compressor to make them all into blocks, and then throws them all into this chest here. And then all of the stuff like the prosperity shards and coal and everything that can compress down into a block but doesn't go through a furnace comes out this side of the storage container and gets sent into the auto compressor there. Just get rid of some of this stuff so that I can start going again. Also be able to kind of see things going to work. So this is breaking everything down, sending them over to the ore chunks. Then the ore chunks are feeding into these smelters here, throwing them into ingots. Ingots come into here, get torn down into blocks. And then the blocks get sent over to this chest. And then I'll show you where they go from this chest in a minute. But then everything else comes over here, so your coal, diamond, emerald, everything that can still get turned into blocks. Like you just saw the bone meal go into a block of bone meal. That also comes over here into this chest. And then from this chest, it goes all the way over here into this drawer system so that you have everything in here. Now eventually, I'll just throw all of this into my refined storage that I have there, but I haven't fully set that up yet, so that's where that's currently going. And then this is the power that I have for all of it. I don't need all of it anymore, but this was what was powering it to begin with. The 2 Stirling generators, 2 magmatic generators, and then I had 2 capacitors with solar panel 5s on them. Got a regular capacitor bank and then a vibrant capacitor bank just to have some extra storage of energy. And then I have both a double crusher here and a regular crusher for when I want to get like coal powder, and you just saw there the draconium dust. And I've got a sag mill, don't really use that anymore, and a painting machine. This is my atomic reconstructor, so I just throw things down here, and I don't think I have anything in my inventory that can be reconstructed, but I set up these aisles so that I can just continuously hit this here and it'll do all of that. And then I've got my crucibles here that was feeding lava to everything. These two magmatic generators and the furnace here. I had my smeltery down here to begin with, but I since moved that because I was trying to produce more, so that up there is the smeltery. We'll get to that in a second. But this is kind of my whole automation area. If we take this elevator up, this was the smeltery. I don't really use this much anymore either, but I had a little window here so I could see the fluid because I thought it was cool. I had some crucibles here to provide lava to it just so that I can continuously use it. And then I had to build the clear glass here so that the solar panels could still get light, because when I originally built this, I didn't have this here, and then that area shut down, and I was confused why, but got all of that worked out. This is just another cobblestone generator making lava in these crucibles, and then the lava was coming over here, and I had water pouring on them to make obsidian, so I have a whole chest of obsidian here if I ever need it. But that was just creating that. If you're wondering what that sound is, I'll go ahead and show this to you now. Here's my little pet ender dragon. Brought him from the end and brought him over here and hatched an egg, and this is what it gave me. So I've got this little guy just walking around up here, trying to contain him so that he doesn't walk off or anything like that. Come back down here to the automation area, and then we go downstairs from here. This is kind of where I'm going to be setting up my blood working stuff. I'm trying to work on enchanting here, or empowering there, sorry. And then I'll have my blood working stuff over here. Over here is my refined storage system. It looks kind of ugly because I built stuff next to it and then didn't really have much room. I haven't relocated it at all, so I have been kind of building up with it. But I've got crafters here making all of my seeds and ingots and mob chunks and all sorts of stuff that I want to create out of it. That way I can automate a lot of the stuff that I make. And then this is the refined storage system itself, loaded with a ton of materials. And then this is all of the stuff that's in my crafters that I can just have it auto make for me. So let's say I wanted to make more draconic cores, if I needed 10 of them. I don't have enough ingots, but you get the idea. I'm only using 66k of my 196k, so I don't really have any worry about space there. There's an engineer's workbench for making bullets and stuff for the revolver. I've got a couple nether star generators, an MK2 and an MK3, both making tons of power for me. I don't really have a need for all of that power, but it's all sending power over the network also. Over here I have my chest for Yellorium. I'll show you what that goes to in a little bit. And then I've got nether skulls and soul sand. I'll also show you that in a little bit, show you exactly what that's for. But let's go over here to the farm. So this is my chicken farm here. I'm working on making a slime chicken at the moment. Oh, I just threw the eggs for it. Let's go ahead and plant me one of these slime chickens. I'm trying to get 2 of every chicken just to have. Just because I think it'd be cool to have 2 of every chicken. Some of the stuff that I don't need. But this is my storage area for all of the stuff that the chickens produce. I have them just laying stuff willy-nilly. I've got all of my dye chickens just out free roaming around. And an extra clay chicken apparently. He can go away. But I've got all of my different types of chickens here. So I've got soul sand, nether wart, bone white. I haven't labeled any of them. But I've got all of my ore chickens over here. So this is the blaze, gas, aluminum, iron, dark steel. All of the different ingot producing ones over on this side, and then the miscellaneous ones over there. I haven't really built a cool shelving housing or anything like that for it. It's just kind of they lay stuff and then the item collector picks it up, puts it in this chest, and then sends it over to the drawer controller over there. And then just because I didn't want to get it too crowded over here, I've got my other animals over here, the cows and sheep and an apple tree here. Going back to the beginning, this is my cloche setup. So it's got item conduits here in the front. It has energy conduits going over the top with both flux points and solar panels, just to provide an even distribution of energy. I found out that with just solar panels, it wasn't distributing the power evenly to all of them, so that's why I have a flux point on that side and that side over there, just to get more energy out into everything. But these are all of the different things that I'm producing. I don't need all of them anymore, but they're still just producing them anyway. I sometimes switch them out, like this one was producing something, but now I switched it over to wither skeleton seeds. And then I've got water seeds in this one just to give me water essence. But all of that has fluid conduit going in the back of it to provide the water, and that all comes out of a sink because a sink is an infinite supply of water there. So that's going from the sink to each one of them, and then it's feeding everything into a small storage crate. I could go with small chests just because stuff doesn't stay in here long. You don't need that big of storage, but when I started doing it, I set up like 5 or 6 with small storage crates and didn't have the item conduit set up yet, so instead of switching those 5 out for small chests or regular chests or something like that, I ended up just creating all of them with small storage crates. I had all the materials, so why not? But all of that stuff goes through the item conduits, goes to that drawer controller, and then I have this separated seeds on the left side, and then all of the essences and everything on the right side. Everything has a void don't remember how. I don't remember how to look at the stuff that's in them. But yeah, these ones over here I'll have a storage upgrade as well as a void upgrade. That way it can hold up to 104 stacks of each essence. And all of the extras then just overflow. And I don't have to worry about it. Oh, cool. I'll fill them back in. This is a wireless grid. It allows me to access all of that stuff, so I can come over here and just take stuff out of it and throw it in. For a little while I was using this ender pouch, and the ender pouch goes to the chest that's on top of there. It's something that I can use if I'm further away than what this will see, because I think this only goes up to 32 blocks. But the ender pouch is what I was working with in the beginning, and then I switched over to the wireless transmitter. I could send all of this stuff into crafters and craft everything that I want and then throw it in there, but I haven't had the want to do it. This works just fine. I don't want to crowd up that storage over there, so I keep everything separate over here and just kind of take it out as I need it. Over here is my infusion stuff, my draconic fusion things. I've got everything upgraded to draconic, and that's where I have my sword that does 61 damage and the staff of power that does 105. I've given them both the attack damage upgrade, but haven't really upgraded anything else. I was doing that for a while, and then I just have a single flux point going to all four of them, and the flux point here going to all four. This thing's pretty cool. It's a celestial manipulator, so right now it's 5 a.m. daytime. I can skip it to sunset, and it just activates and turns the world time to being sunset for me. If there's stuff that I need to do at certain times of the day, or if I'm trying to get things to spawn or something like that, a little bit easier than sleeping in a bed or something like that. I can just manipulate it to being whatever I want it to be. So I'll just switch that back to sunrise. That way it's daytime. Looks pretty cool too. Has a little bit of a sound and noticing effect, but looks pretty cool. I've also got some of these set up, these network receivers, so that I can craft and access this from anywhere. I don't have to always fly back over there. But this is my Botania area. So I made me an elven portal here. I've got the infusers or mana spreaders that are going to these mana pools. I got munchdies on that side to do trees. And then I've got some endoflames as well as some thermal lilies. That way I can place lava in here, charge the thermal lilies to shoot the mana spreaders into the mana pool, or I could throw coal or anything that the endoflames can eat there. I don't have it activated just because I don't want to sit here and constantly drain my mana, but I have an elven portal made that I can activate and do the elven trade. And then over here I have the Ritual of Gaia. You don't need the glowstone here, but I added it just because I didn't want to have torches all over the floor. That way monsters don't spawn over here or anything. But you've got your beacon here with iron ore underneath so that it actually works as a beacon. You need this big of an area. I wasn't sure how big it needed to be at first, but when you try to summon them, it'll show you what grid you have to have. You have your beacon in the middle, and you can set it to whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. And then that goes 3 out, and then you have your pylons. I don't think you need the cobblestone here. I think it's more for measurement, but that was in the picture that I saw, so I just did that. And then your pylons just sit 1 level above what your beacon is. So whatever the beacon is at, the pylons have to be 1 above it. And then you can summon Gaia and fight them there. Got a little squid pool over here. There's only 1 squid in it right now, but that's where I was getting my ink sacs and stuff like that. I have these travelers set up all over. So I've got my chicken farm over there, the garden over there. We're going to go down to the basement in a second, and then the wither. But I've got the teleporter so that I can use the travel wand and just go anywhere that I want to quickly. Doesn't damage you at all. It's pretty low cost. The travel wand is the thing that costs the most at the moment. I think you need another star for that, but you can build these travel anchors pretty early on and just use them without the travel wand to just jump from place to place. So I thought that was a much quicker way to get around my base than running around everywhere. And then if we take this elevator up, you've got the ender portal. In there I've got another fortress, and that's where I was getting the nether quartz chicken and soul stand chicken that you can't create by mating the chickens. You have to go in there to get them. That was a pain in the butt. And then if we go down this, this is actually where the blood work's gonna be. So I've got blood ritual stuff happening over here, and then I've got the enchanter stuff happening over there, just because that's all the mechanical automation stuff. And this over here, I needed a room because I know you can get multiple tiers of blood altars, so I'll be working on all of the blood magic stuff over here. And then we go down 1 more, and we have my mob spawner. So this is feeding mobs into there and killing them, and then throwing all of the loot into the storage crate, which sifts it out everywhere. Throw stuff over here for all of my chance cubes and icosahedrons and all of my other materials that I can get from this. Throws a bunch of stuff into the recycler, and then creates loot bags out of everything. This is an experience obelisk that I hold all of my experience in. Got another one up here just for ease of purpose. Got 218 levels stored up, so the mob spawner's been going for quite a while. I was getting all of my mob chunks and everything from over here. This is where I had Solium daggers in all of these mechanical users. They would kill mobs and give me mob chunks. And then all of the mob chunks would feed into here and filter out. So I've got slime chunks, zombie chunks, creeper, skeleton, spider, wither, and then wither dust and drops of evil. The reason why there's ramps there is because I had witch water going behind that, so it would send mobs up the ramp. They would drop in the witch water, and then they would die from the mechanical users. So that's just kind of how I set up to have that going. And then over here is my automated wither killer. So I can show you that here in a moment, how it actually operates. But you've got a mob grinder down here, and the mob grinder just kills the withers when they're in there. That's a death muffler so that I don't see the names pop up all the time. But it's a fully enclosed witherproof area with witherproof glass and blocks. And then a portal here. You use a dislocator and draconium infused obsidian, and then inside of that you put a dislocator to wherever you want the portal to end up, and right now they fall into it and go directly into this cage here, so that's pretty cool. And then these are mechanical users that are placing the soul sand. So these ones are full of soul sand, and these ones are full of wither skeleton heads. And these chests here I have set up to where I can just pull stuff out of the automated area up top and feed it into these without being down here, and it'll take all of the soul sand out and put them in here, and then all of the heads out and put it there. So let's go back to the main area and I can show you how that works. So I've got them named up here, that way I don't forget. But if you take your nether skulls and you put them in this purple chest here, it creates withers by placing the heads on the soul sand, and then the withers drop down into that area, and then as they explode they die right away. So the mob grinder just grinds them up, kills them. You could set it up to where it will work with like a lever or something. There's multiple ways you can set it up. This is the way Jack had set it up with Achievement Hunter. He's been doing a lot of Sky Factory on his own. That's where I got kind of a lot of the layouts that I found is from watching his videos. But this is the way they kind of set it up. So they just drop down in there, die, and then everything feeds into this small storage crate, which goes into this ender chest, which then feeds right back up into the refined storage system. Over here I have all of my mills and GP generators, so I can generate it to 102. I don't really need that much anymore. It was more that I needed them when I was running all of those mechanical users, but this is just what I decided to do with the water mills. Just created a little area over here. This is the reactor that I have. It's not built very big because I don't need a crap ton of power at the moment, but it does create 14.5k RF per tick. It runs pretty efficiently. I mean, I don't really have to refill this too much. And then everything outports into a flux plug and sends power to everywhere. Over here I was trying to make another Ender Dragon that has to be made in complete darkness, but unfortunately the two that I've done both died because it then spawns monsters in here and the dragon doesn't kill the monsters. So that kind of sucks. I gotta find a different way of doing that. I was opening chance cubes over here, and the chance cubes, I mean, they can give you just about anything, but I was doing 3x3x3 chance cubes and opening them up, and the first 3x3x3 that I did gave me a whole village, which was pretty awesome, and I counted myself pretty lucky with that. I was starting more over there, but in doing so and seeing what other options come out of it, I decided that I was going to stop doing them over there and started doing them in the Netherborn. So that's pretty much the world right now. All of the stuff that hasn't been shown in my other videos. But yeah, so that's kind of an outlay of it. It's got a few different levels to it. Still some stuff that I have to do, like I need to get the blood magic going a lot more and whatnot. I've got flight and everything down because I have created flight now with the draconic. I can do pretty much anything with the base layout that I have. But yeah, that's just kind of an overview of what the world looks like. It's not glamorous or anything, I just kind of built space when I needed it. But I hope you enjoyed the world tour, and I will see you guys later.